Hey there, welcome to week 43. I know I have to keep looking in the book. The book is Chakra Wisdom Oracle Toolkit, and it is aptly titled The 52-Week Journey of Self-Discovery with the Lost Fables. And I have to tell you, I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this work, is that really it's about self-discovery. And I don't know that you need to be necessarily intuitive to have that level of self-discovery. And I think self-discovery can just be an energy of you looking at the energies in your life. So I really invite you to begin with the idea that this is a self-discovery journey, right? And I know we're like 43 weeks in, but you know what's funny? We begin again each week. Each week we start anew. It's not like I can say that the lessons are cumulative, like you did start back in, January of this year, but we still are reinventing who we are and seeing who we are in every moment, in every fable. So one of the things that you want to look at, particularly this week, is the name of the fable, the name of the card is Recovery. It's the Recovery card, and I know that's in Korean, so none of us can read it unless you're Korean, and then you can read it. But it is the Recovery card. And it really is, the fable is called the Lilac Key. And one of the things I want to share with you about this is the quote from the fable itself, which is, "The pain from our past unlocks the door of understanding." And that is really some of the brilliance of this. If we look at the idea of recovery, so much of it, and especially I don't know about other countries, but I know in English speaking, at least in America, we talk a lot about recovery from addiction. And I think that the idea of recovery, when you say to somebody, "Oh, I'm working on recovery," people go, "Oh yeah, how long have you been sober?" Or not shopping or not overspending or whatever you're recovering from. You are, the inherent thing is, here we go again, you admit that you're powerless. And one of the things that I felt so strongly about with this particular card, and if you look at it, the name of the card is actually the Lilac Key. And take a look at the key, and I don't know, can we see it on here? No, yeah, you can. You actually can. Behind the Great Servant, who is right, or is that Sky God? Looks like Sky God, but right behind the key on the door, you can see that the keyhole, right? And you can also see I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at the same time. We also see Mother Earth. So we know this is a fable that is one of the 17 Great Servant cards, Great Spirit cards. So when we look at that, we know there's something a little bit extra special coming toward you. So one of the things I want to say is that using the pain of your past to unlock the door of understanding really lends itself to the idea that, what if you've had a buried treasure all along that you just never accessed, that you've had? And so if you think of, recovering treasure, then when we look at that, a recovery can mean recovering something that you never knew you had, or that was long, long, long ago lost. Now, we can look at that as you've buried it, or we can look at it as a family burial, that the family may have buried your gifts. So no matter where the burying of the gifts came from, this is really about uncovering who you really are. So one of the things that I think is really key here, let's take a look at the message of the week, and then I'll go into it more. But remember, this is the 6th card in the 6th chakra. So anytime you see that alignment, before I look at this, anytime you see that alignment of the 6th card, 6th chakra, you're going to see the pairing of those two, which means that intuitive. It means that there's something intuitively you are here to discover about you. There's something you are here to perhaps excavate from you that has been long buried. And so whether it's discovering yourself sober, as we talk about in recovery, are you in the essence of recovery, meaning you are in that time where you're excavating what isn't you? It's like the Michelangelo taking away everything that isn't the David. So I think if we look at it that way, you can begin to see how valuable sixth chakra, sixth sense, and the sixth card. So let's just take a moment in this moment and let's feel into this. Sixth chakra, right? Because we know we're dealing with the sixth chakra, but we're also dealing with the sixth card in the sixth chakra. So the question I would say to you in this moment is, what is it that you would like to be in intuitive alignment with at this time? So when we look at that, the key, the pain that's made up this key, the pain of our past that has made this key will unlock the door of understanding. Yet it must be something that we are ready to uncover. You know, if you come to like a place in your life where you're like, I'm ready to get my PhD, I'm ready to get my GED, I'm ready to learn to drive, I'm ready to get married, I'm ready to get divorced, whatever it is, you're uncovering a part of you that needs to be excavated and needs to be in alignment with whatever you want to take on in the moment. So that's an important thing, because there is something in this energetic that is a game changer. Okay, so let's take a look. And of course, the message of the week. Oh, look at that. As we shift our focus into a new definition of recovery, we consider the idea of recovering a life we've yet to live. We consider the idea of recovering a life we have yet to live. Think about family ancestry and how that shows up in this fable to understand that your future success is hidden in your past. And that, by the way, that is the nugget, that is the meat of the course that I think is the most important course I've ever written, which is Life Purpose Divination. And not many people take it. It's not an easy course. It's a remarkable course. And the people who've taken it have had massive life changes. And I think that one of the things when we look at that is that not many people are willing to get out there in the middle of the night and dig up stuff that has been safely buried and has beautiful flowers growing over it. So that's what I feel is so valuable about that. But I say that because I think that that is the crux of what that course is about, that your future success is hidden in your past. And when we can really look at ourselves, and I love it because that is a way to look at ourselves so beautifully, like the value and the gifts we have and who we are. And it's really very rewarding. But that's what this particular week is about, is uncovering a lot of that. So the Tori's tip, that would be me. If we've suffered greatly in life, we may feel that happy memories or even our whole childhood has been taken away from us. Or we may be aware of something in our past holding us back without being sure what that is. The promise of the lilac key is that if we face the painful memories we carry with us, they'll unlock the door of understanding to reveal the gifts hidden behind. And I want to underline something here. When it says carry the pain as gifts, it doesn't mean carry it as, look at my like pain, you know. And it's funny because I have people, you know, I work with all kinds of people, right? So I'll have somebody that has just started working with me. I yawn a lot when I'm processing, as you know. And it's really interesting because I'll say to her, this is how you do that. And she'll be given the information. And then I'll get a message, the Facebook message or whatever, you know, messenger, and it'll say, I really don't understand how to do, and which I've just told her to do. But more importantly, it's because my this, my that, my this. And it's a lot of physical ailments, family dynamics, things that don't allow her to do it. And my response is, okay, you know, now here's how you do it. See, I think the thing is, it's not that I'm invalidating the experience that this person is having in the present moment. Believe me, I've had present moment experiences, but I'm not trying to invalidate that. What I am doing is saying, okay, meaning I hear that, and yet that's not what I'm here to address. I'm here to address the desire that you came in with, which is, I am going to create this breakthrough and I need your help to create it. And so, okay, But there's a message, there's a mixture that I believe and I work with, which is a combination of, a little bit of tough love, but more importantly, not giving life to the conversations that defeat us. Now, so that therefore, when this person said, my mother just died, she left me everything, I have this massive property, I don't know what to do with it, I'm going to have to fire the servants. These are things, and don't get me wrong, listen, this person has a lot of issues that they're dealing with. And no matter what the issues are, whether it's I can't pay my rent or I don't know how to run a house this size, I think the important thing is to try to stay away from the comparison of my pain and that person's pain, because it's easy to laugh and go, come on, really? But at the same time, what happens is we can take our pain and use it as a shield to protect us from the onslaught of, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? And my thinking is, and so when I said to her, okay, here's how you do it, she responded by saying, well, maybe this just isn't for me. Right. And my response on that was, okay, and I didn't say it. What I said was, I actually was thinking, okay, but I said to her, this is a circumstance where you've fallen off a horse because it's something you don't know and you fell off the horse, right? So here's a circumstance where you fell off the horse. It is going to be your choice whether you get on the horse and keep going, or you have fallen and you go, I don't really want to do that. And you see, here's the thing, everybody, either choice is valid, because this may be, sometimes, I've had this happen, and I don't know about you, but like, I've gone to a class and I went to like 2 classes and I went, you know what? I got this. I don't need to do the rest of it. And I know people who've done that with me. I had people who did a training with me and they went halfway through and they go, I got this. I'm going to stop here. I don't need to do anymore. And they were just listening to the playbacks later. And I said, okay, because there is a point where we trust people to uncover and recover what they want to recover in their own way and pace and time. However, when someone in this case engages me and they've engaged me to help them recover something in their life that they feel is missing, that was theirs, that's lost, then I'm going to give them things to do, right? Because we're going to have these discussions and there are going to be things that, that you could do, but I'm not going to feed the helplessness. By that, I mean, there were some online web things this person had to do. They had to figure out, how to click on something or what have you, and they couldn't find how to click on it. And, the first time I'll tell you, the second time I'll say, here's the Google link. And the third time I'll say, try to Google that. And that's not a mean thing, because I'm actually really supporting them by saying, I've helped you with this, I've supported you in this, and now it's going to be up to you. So by the time I said, here's how to find it on Google, that's when I got maybe this isn't for me. And it's like, okay, if you are on the ground and you've been thrown off the horse, decide whether you want to get on the horse or you want to walk away. And that's okay either way. And I really mean that, by the way. I'm sincere when I tell you that. I know it sounds like, but I don't mean it like that. I mean, but here's the deal. I love when people invest and they say, I'm getting back on, because then I can help them. If they say, I'm walking away, I can't help them. And of course I'm going to go, oh, that's too bad, but I understand and good luck. I had a woman walk away. She's like, this isn't for me. And a year later, she called me up and said, I'm really wanting this now. I get what you were trying to tell me and I couldn't hear it. And I was like, okay. And she came back and we finished it and that was it. I say this because there was no mojo. I didn't go, oh, she quit. I mean, early on in my career, of course, there was more disappointment because I really was so invested in you doing it, And now there's a thing of, we are all sitting on buried treasure. Whether or not you know it isn't the point. The point is, will you allow yourself to recover what's yours and honor what happened in the past has gotten you to the point where you could open that buried treasure? So I think that's the key. It's not all the stuff that happened. My mother did this to me and my brother did this. I mean, literally this woman wrote like almost a 3-page, message, it's this wide, right? And, I read it, because when you pay me, I'll read it, right? So I read it and I kind of went, okay, so here's what you do next. Go ahead. And I gave her the instruction again. And that's when she wanted to quit. And I said, okay, that may be for you. And the next day I got a message that said, I'm gonna figure this out. I just need my own time to do it. And I was like, okay, and she's figuring it out. She took some steps and she took a class and she's done some things. So again, my telling you this is really about, are you willing to do what it takes to live the life that you came here to live? See, I think the biggest thing we all think about is, am I doing what I came here to do? And that for me is what this particular card is all about. And it dovetails into life purpose divination, which is all about that. And I think we do need to clear cobwebs. I'm not going to lie to you, whether you go to therapy or you take a course or you do spiritual work or you go to sweat lodges, whatever you do for you, church, whatever that is, the goal of all of it is to bring you back to your own inner wisdom and your connection with God, higher power, goddess, the earth, whatever you call your spiritual sanctuary, so to speak. Now, I had a gal I was working with who was pagan. And so I had to learn a lot of her terminology and I had to learn how to work with her in that way. That's fine, because a lot of those things I don't know about and I want to honor them. So she would have to say to me, well, this is what the earth energy is, and this is what I'm looking to get back to. And she would explain to me. And that's how I was able to give her insight into getting back to whatever point she was cut off from that. Some people are cut off at 3. And some people are cut off at 10, and some people a week ago, whatever it is. I find most of it is in the childhood, and we can go back. There's a lot of tools in this work, and just take those tools and put them together, and all of a sudden that person is empowered to make their own choices and to do it for themselves. And that to me, woo, that is the sweet spot. Okay, let's look at this. So, let's see. Okay, so this is about your hidden gifts, and it's about you finding them. It's like buried treasure, really. It's kind of like, I don't know about you, but the Easter egg hunt. You find the eggs and there's stuff in it. Well, that's what this is. It's finding you. And it's finding you in the places you didn't know you would. Let's take a look at first impressions. I'm not going to share the fable with you. I think it's cool, and I want you to read it as well. I will tell you that you must read the fables, because the fables are the key to all of this work. When people have the deck and they tell me something about the card, and when I was training people, and I still do, when I do trainings with groups, I'll say, okay, but what did the fable tell you about X? And they go, oh. So some people go, oh, I didn't really pay attention to it. And I'll encourage them and I'll say, go read it. And then let's have this discussion in 20 minutes. And you'd be surprised how much the conversation will change in that time. So first impressions, many people want to get rid of their pain. Yet here we see that pain forms the foundation of our gifts. See, what we most try to run from becomes our purpose. One of the most powerful insights of multi-generational healing is that we never lose our pain. Rather, we use it to empower us and add meaning to our lives. See, our most challenging circumstances are the things in which we create meaning. And I do a lot of double talk around this when I talk about, making meaning of something. But I really want to say to you, the meaning we make of something is the outcome we will have. And so the more we look at, wow, I can make this mean something else, or I can really look at the pain head on, right? And I was working with, at one time I was working with a couple men in this work. 3 guys got together and they really wanted to do this work, but they didn't want to do it around chicks. And I was like, well, I'm a chick. So they go, no, you're just you. So I was like, okay. But one of the things that I worked with men, because they're very much in their bodies, these guys were, they're very much in their bodies. And really what I would do is have them go, I got it. Like, I got it. And they would stand up and go, I got this. And then they would see what the pain was, and they would keep saying, I got this. And they would let the pain come in and go through them. And what happened was they were able to express and experience their feelings in a way that would help them build. So the thing to remember is that men really have to connect with their feelings through action. It's like, what is it? It's through right action. Women take right action through their feelings. Men act on their feelings through action. So those are just some of the differences. But one of the things you want to look at is that male or female energy will take this on differently. And even as I say to men, I can mean male energy in a female. I can mean female energy in a male, because in the time we're living in, that conversation is ongoing, right? So, okay, so the final thing here is it sets your intention for the week. So I want to talk about that. I'm going to share with you one more thing, and then we're going to, I'm going to tag you, set you into the wild, let you go. Okay. Think about the painful things in your life that you've wanted to get over. This week, set your intention to consider a new perspective. What if we never get over anything? What if painful experiences could become part of the magnificent tapestry of your life? And, you know, it reminds me of years ago, the AIDS quilt. And you know, I talk a lot about the tapestry that is your life and putting those elements on your tapestry. So the thing that's going to be important here is that in the meditation, it's going to give you an opportunity to do a where am I now, where was I? And I really encourage you to do that. The other thing I want to remind you of is that lilac in and of itself, the color, has white light built into it. So therefore, when we step into the energy of lilac, we're bringing down the lilac into that, you know, that energy of purple that becomes an energy that cascades over us. And that we step into the idea that only we can uncover the buried treasure that is us. Because you see, if we wait for someone else to come along and, in a sense, fix us or help us or do it for us, the treasure's not ours. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. I'd like you to do the meditation for the week, obviously, because that's my mojo, you know. But I think that the solo exercise and group exercise in Make a Connection, I want to really start to offer you the opportunity now, because we're coming up on this year. And I want you to start thinking about, in January of this next year, are you willing, because you've done it, are you willing to start again with a new eye and take others through what you've learned? Are you willing to say, hey, let's get together on Sunday nights and let's do the exercises every week. Let's read the fable and let's come in and do these exercises. Are you willing to go from something you just did to something you can give? And that is the key of the lilac key. It's going from what can you give me to what can I give you? I'll see you next week.